Gridiron Light, sponsored by Memphis Bottlers Pepsi Cola, Central Methodist University, and ScoreStream.
Good evening, everybody. Kirksville into the regular season with a loss to Fulton, the final 28-7. Next up, it's Milan and Maysville. Let's see if the game was good. It was. Milan and Green, Dominic Dabney sure doesn't play like a freshman. He takes it 57 yards as the Wildcats took the early lead in the ball game. Later on in the first quarter, brother Ryan Dabney and Hunter Shaw play a little pitch and catch for the first down as he steps out of bounds. 6 plays later, the dynamic duo would team up for a 32-yard touchdown. Milan was in charge early. How about some defense? Great play by Riley Shoemaker. The Wildcats ran the ball at will in the first half. Dabney would take it down to the 20-yard line. Milan has now won 2 in a row. Tonight's final, 34-14.
Everything was on the line for Pekin football tonight as they dueled New London for the final District 6 playoff spot. The Panthers entered the second half with a 7-0 lead, and that is when Monaco Racania took over. He runs to his left, bounces it outside, and rushes into New London territory. Then he's at it again on the same drive, closing down the distance between the Panthers and the goal line. And on the very next play, he marches it into the end zone, and Pekin leads 14-0. But New London answered immediately. On the next drive, Isaac McSorley with the play action. He gets on his horse and rides it deep into Panther territory. Then on the same drive, McSorley finds Cody Hassanen, who dives in for the score, and New London earned the 2-point conversion, but that was all the scoring this game could muster. Pekin wins it 14-8, and they lock up a state playoff berth. SigourneyKeota was home for a must-win game as well. The Cobras taking on Wapello. Just one game separating these teams in the district standings. And after an opening drive touchdown for the Indians, SK answered. Luke Greiner drops back to pass, and he finds J.D. Stout, who comes up with the catch to move the chains. Then, on 1st and goal, Carson Crawford shakes not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 tacklers for the touchdown to tie this one up. Wapello responded with a touchdown of their own, but the Cobras struck right back. Crawford gets the carry from his own end, and he finds all kinds of real estate and pulls away, taking this one to the house to tie things up again. SigourneyKeota goes on to win this one in a shootout, 48-41. And over in Fairfield, the Trojans were hosting Mount Pleasant. Fairfield's Carson Kryl, he drops back to pass, but the Panthers' James DeMeyer snags the interception and takes his team close to their red zone. Then Mount Pleasant capitalized on this Zach Beeson to Kieran Cohorst connection that put the Panthers up by a touchdown in the first quarter. Later on in the first quarter, it's Beeson dropping back again, and he airs out a long ball that's right on target, finding Ryland Seaberg for the score. Mount Pleasant goes on to win this one 27-0.
Scotland County hosted South Shelby. They will both host a playoff game next week, and they both want to go into that game with a win. Scotland County in blue, they gambled early as they tried to fake punt. Nice execution. However, it would be a couple of yards short. 2 plays later, South Shelby scored as Brock Wood would bounce off some players, and he gets a 45-yard touchdown. We'll have a lot more from number 22. Scotland County had some success through the air tonight. Will Fromm finds Brett Monroe, but the drive would stall. Later on, Wood would go in untouched as the junior makes it look easy as he cuts back and turns on the speed. Like all great backs, Wood has great patience and vision. South Shelby wins it big, 54-16. In college football, it's homecoming at Truman State as the Bulldogs will face 7th-ranked Grand Valley State. If you looked at the matchup at the beginning of the year, you would have envisioned an undefeated Grand Valley State squad against a 5-1 Truman State squad. Instead, Grand Valley is 5-1. Truman State 1-5. However, with that being said, the Bulldogs are ready to play David against the Lakers' Goliath.
When you're overmatched against a high-powered football team, you're trying to shorten the game. You're trying to get it into a second half, fourth quarter game. That's what Indianapolis was able to do in the season opener, and really the pressure began to mount for Grand Valley in the second half, and particularly the fourth quarter of that game. And Indianapolis was obviously able to pull that out.